Hi everybody, it's Heather Cox, your roving reporter. I'm here at Crabapple Crossing Elementary School with a good friend of mine. This is Sarah Jones. I was lucky enough to teach with Sarah here at Crabapple a few years ago. How are you doing today, Sarah?
Doing great. It's great to be here with you.
Thanks. So we're here today to talk about writing workshop. And what I love about this is that this is probably one of our first roving reporters where we're not focusing on technology. We're focusing really on quality practice. And so tell us a little bit about the writing workshop that you do with your fifth graders.
Okay. This is the first year that we've implemented the units of study in terms of the Lucy Calkins model for the writing workshop. And it's been a huge shift for our students, because instead of them going from year to year, having different teachers that teach them different ways to write, as an entire school, we're all teaching the same system.
That's nice.
So it's super nice because the students are going to get the continuity coming up through the grades, and they're going to learn the language, learn to talk the talk, and they're going to hear the same verbiage used over and over again. So it's really awesome in that respect. The other thing I really like about it is that each workshop starts with a mini lesson, which is just a short 10 to 12 minute skill that we teach. It could be a skill, say, on annotating. Okay. So maybe we're teaching the students to read a text and then be able to annotate on it. So we teach them the skill and then we turn them loose to implement it. So that's where I really see the magic happen for the kids, is they've learned that skill and then they go back and whatever it is that they're reading or writing about, they take that skill and they use it. So, and they get to use it however they want. So they get to choose to, maybe they're studying about how plastic bags hurt our environment, like during our opinion unit. And so then they're reading articles about how plastic affects the environment, they're writing about it, they're annotating, they're using that skill. So I can see that day whether or not they've learned that skill that I've taught them.
I love that. So even doing the writing workshop, you haven't taken out the whole group, which I know people get a little scared when we start saying we're going to take whole groups, so they still get that mini lesson, that time all together. And then you really start throwing in those personalized learning pieces. We have the choice in voice, so they're choosing, you said, what they write about and read about. But I love that they're then taking that skill and applying it to a real life thing. Has the model been successful so far?
It's been hugely successful. When I look at where my students are right now, the way they're writing compared with my students from last year, it's incredible.
That's
like they're writing every day so much. So the volume has increased, the quality has increased. They really understand how to write about meaningful things.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about the management of that. What's the classroom like? Is it difficult to manage the kids kind of being wherever?
I think initially it was a huge shift for the kids because they weren't being told explicitly, oh, you have to do this, or here's a worksheet, complete this. Instead, they're taking the skill and they're choosing how they implement it. So for some kids, they've taken it and run with it. Others, it's required a little bit more time of me kind of roving around, pulling a small group and saying, hey, I noticed you're struggling with this. Can I help you to focus? And how could I support them in that? So for some kids, it has been a little harder for them to discipline themselves, but I have every confidence that over the years, they will gain more of that, and really it puts them in charge of their learning.
Which is huge.
It is, it's huge. So instead of the teacher being the one, oh, I'm responsible for you learning this, it's no, the student saying, I want to learn this and I'm going to be responsible.
And that's totally what we're looking for with personalized learning. You know, students co-planning their learning, that's really what they're doing in that as well. And I think something that's important to remember also is that it like you said, it wasn't easy at first. It wasn't easy for the students. It's a shift, I think, for the teachers too. But when you kind of push through those, you know, struggles and those barriers and keep going, the result is clearly much better than had you not done that.
It's huge, and one phrase that I've had to completely eliminate from my vocabulary is "they can't." And sometimes you have a tendency to say, "Oh, they can't do this. It's too much for them. They can't manage themselves. They can't. They can't. They can't." And I've had to just I won't allow myself to say that, and I won't allow others to say it because it is difficult. It's not easy, but if we continue to push through it, they're going to get it, and it's going to be so much better for them in the long run.
I think that is a perfect phrase to end with it on, because I love that you're not letting that prevent you or the students from doing, you know, what's really best for them, and taking on that transition. So thank you, Sarah, for letting us come and see your classroom and for talking to us today. I'm sure if you have additional questions, Sarah is probably more than willing to answer those questions. So you can reach out to me and I can connect you with her.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.